morning. Beautiful to see you out here again. It's a cool day. You can see I'm sort of wrapped up. I don't want to have too many layers on, but I also don't want to have too few. So let me show you. The wind is coming from the south, which is the side of the screen where the trees are. And it's just sort of chilly and cool and quite peaceful, and I'm grateful for that. And the reason I decided to show you the back garden today is because of the flowers that are growing in amongst the lemon tree, which always gets very chewed by snails. But, you know, the flowers are lovely. Good morning, Linda. So let's go around the side so we can get closer. Morning, Sharon. So this is a faithful campanula. G'day, Heather. Lovely to see you. I just wanted to show you this off because it's just gorgeous. And there's another one here. This is also a campanula, and it's a completely different flower. So I planted it in the crib wall. You can see it's got those sort of rosettes of leaves, and then these flower spikes come out. It used to grow up here, by the magnolia bush that's becoming a tree, but then it changed. So I moved it so as not to lose it. Here's a native astelia, which is actually a rather attractive thing. It will eventually flower, but I just love the foliage. You can see I rather like grey-green things. This is another New Zealand native. Nihal, good morning. And what else have we got here? We've got some cassia flowers. Andy, good morning. Let's get up close and personal with the cassia. There you go. Aren't those stamens gorgeous? It's a beautiful thing. This is a seed that fell into my garden from a birdie's bottom and became this little bush, which will get bigger over time. This is the thing I really wanted to show you. Now, I showed you this yesterday in my Sang Marie Live. If you haven't seen it, it's actually better yesterday. See how the sun bleaches the flowers? They all start off this bright, bright yellow and they get bleached. But it's a really big bush. Let me just go back. You can see the flowers en masse. Julian, good morning. So this is the spectacular thing in the garden. There's something else I want to show you. Hopefully the Wi-Fi holds. Good morning, Don. Look at this. This is another New Zealand native, and it's just coming out. Its Latin name is Hebe, called Kamahi. It's the Māori name, and there's many, many varieties of them. And this one, as you can see, is going to absolutely cover itself in flower. This tree, by the way, is a magnolia, and that also fell out of a birdie's bottom into my garden. It's a seedling. It took years to flower, but now it does. So here we are. There's one more thing I want to show you. I've got to get the top off. This is my red currant, and I can't show you. There are still some red currants on it, and they're protected from the birds, and I've got to get them harvested. Going past the loganberry, which is covered with fruit, but somehow the loganberries aren't ripening very well, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But anyway, they're growing. Just want you to see this. This is, let me show you the whole thing. See, that's the thalictrum. There's a white one in the front garden, and here is the purple one. If we get up, you can see it's just like a little snowstorm of flowers. There's beautiful bosses of stamens, which are just glorious. I'm very fond of these things. I have to keep putting washing water on them to stop them from wilting in summer, but they're glorious. And they have to be staked because, you know, they get blown over. They're a woodland plant. But anyway, there they are, and they're lovely. You made it, indeed, Julian. It's not a small achievement when you're dealing with shifts. And so everybody who turns up and makes it into the space together with me, I appreciate you. Now, what on earth was I going to talk about today? I know what I wrote, at least I know I wrote something, but really the core thing, now I've got it. The core thing, because it's the time of year when something outside of you has happened, which gives you a good reason to believe that something's changed, right? The calendar turned over. There's something out there that's different. Hi, Kiki! Morning, gorgeous! Therefore, it's a new year. I can make a new start, right? This is what's happening for most of the planet. Because, some people, their year is different. They work on a different calendar. But by and large, it's gone from 2019 to 2020. Something's changed. It's a new year. Oh, gee, I can make some changes. And that is that's the Newtonian model of reality where something outside of me has to change before I change inside. Diversion, but important. So, as you know, every day is like a new year. Actually, it really is. Every day is a fresh start. Every day we get to choose who we want to be. But the thing is that when we are tuning into what we want to be, hi Burner, morning, when we're actually deciding what we want, there's a lot of chatter goes on in our heads often. Well, if I do this, what will that person think? And what impact will it have? And, and we're immediately doing this dance about everybody else. Morning, Laura. Lovely to see you. We're doing this dance about everybody else. Andrea, yay, good morning. It's probably the middle of the night for you, but it's lovely to see you. So, how do we set goals, right, or choose our target, or get clear on an intention when there's all this, dare I say, bullshit in our heads about expectations of other people, and even the expectations we have of ourselves, which nonetheless are not really true for us. Victor, good morning, gorgeous, lovely to see you. So I really wanted to talk about that because it's kind of the time of year for, setting goals and deciding what we want. And I think many of us just carry on in the same kind of thing. We say, I want to do this year. I want to go on a diet. I want to lose some weight. I want to get fitter. I want to get a new job. But the stuff that we haven't really noticed that's going on inside our heads about all the constraints that we've placed on ourselves or that other people have placed on us, or actually that we've allowed other people to place on us, is still all there. And so by March, you're thinking, well, nothing's really changed. And you just, collapse back into the same old thing because it seems to be so difficult to do something different, right? Quoting Joe Dispenza, the hardest thing about change is not making the same choice that you made the day before. It sounds so obvious. But the thing is that we make so many changes that we make so many choices that we don't realise we're making. So how do you manage to pay attention and notice what's influencing your decision making? Paula, good morning, gorgeous. How do you clear all of that stuff away, or at least become aware of it so you can navigate around it? Because clearing it all, that sounds great, but that can take some time, that can take some insight, that can take some thought, can take some reprogramming, all of that. How do you even start to notice all the crap that you've taken on board from other people and from yourself? Yeah, trap yourself in a box and can't find the window. Exactly. So how do you do that, right? So how do I do that? And it's interesting because, of course, now my brain is much more coherent and I've kind of trained myself and I'm aware, and it doesn't happen to me the same way it used to. So I've got to turn the clock back and think, well, let me go back to when I was 21, married to a man who was kind and considerate but completely emotionally unavailable. It's a long story. Not my present husband at all. And I got very stressed. I was at university. I was sleeping 4 hours a night. And, I remember there was so much frustration in my mind and so much, and it would just go round and round and round. The thoughts, the thoughts of me, and me, and it would just escalate, right? Which is kind of like being stuck in that box. Or when you're thinking, I want to make some money, because this is me, right? But I've tried this and it didn't work, and I don't have enough money to do that, and that is a sort of a thing that interests me, but it takes money and it takes time that I don't have, and I feel kind of boxed into a corner with my current commitments. And how am I going to make this change without disappointing anybody or putting myself under so much pressure that it's just all becomes horrible and I don't want to do it anyway? There's all of this stuff going on in my head, and these are all things that I've experienced. And what I do now is actually exercise my power of metacognition. What is metacognition? Metacognition is our ability to notice what we're thinking. when you're thinking a thought and you're having feelings and you're having feelings and having thoughts and having feelings and having thoughts, because, I mean, you know, you have a frustrated feeling and then you have a frustrated thought and then you feel frustrated and then your brain comes up with all these more reasons why you're frustrated, right? That's an unconscious process. That is happening and you don't even know it. Your state of being right now. It's probably a whole lot of emotion running and you haven't even noticed what it is. Hi, Tyson. Morning, beautiful. What are you actually feeling in your body? Steph, good morning, sweetheart. What are you feeling in your body as you think you're just sitting here quite neutral, sitting, standing, lying, whatever you're doing? What's your body telling you that you haven't even noticed? What are you feeling afraid of? What are you feeling excited about? What are you feeling? Oh, I don't want to look at that. That's a common one for me, right? Now, what are you actually not noticing, which is so familiar to you that you think it's you? But it's not. What if you are none of that stuff? So you've got to start paying attention. You've got to start thinking about what you're thinking about. That's actually the first step out of the box, Kiki, is to really look at the box. Instead of thrashing around inside it, to look at the box, think, hang on a minute, well, what if this isn't true? What if this isn't me? And to not try to reason your way out of it. Because if you're inside the box and you're really familiar with the inside of the box and you know what colour it's painted and you know every scratch on the wall and you know your own box, right? As long as you keep thinking and thinking and feeling, by the way, as long as you keep being that person who thinks and feels within the confines of that box, you're going to stay there. It's not possible to get out of the box while you're still in the box. And you're saying, Maddie, no shit, Sherlock, I know that. Here's the thing. We have this ability to get out of the box, even while we're inside it. Even while we're inside it. And this really, I guess, is what, to set a real intention that's true for you, it's exciting for you, that's interesting for you, that would even be a bit of an adventure for you, it requires us to get outside of the box. And so, there's two things going on in my head. I'm going to look at the clock and then think about, oh yeah, okay, I got 4 minutes to talk about one and 5 minutes to talk about the other. So the first thing is to actually know where you want to be. I mean, you're in a box, right? Let's say you can just teleport yourself into another box. Everything is a box, right? It's just a larger box, a better box, an infinite box. I mean, you can bust out the walls if you like, but it's kind of easier to think, okay, how do I want it to be? Paint the inside of it, furnish it, make it a particular place. And yeah, but this is imagination, but it's more than imagination. Because you will have ideas about how you want your life to be. All of us do. And with those ideas comes a bunch of feelings that says how impossible it is. And, I've tried before. And the new box that you want to be in is not just looking at that and saying, oh my God, it's so impossible, I've tried before. It's actually allowing yourself to pretend that you're there. You've actually got to shift your state of being. You've actually got to find somehow a way to experience it ahead of the event. And this goes back to what I was saying right at the beginning of this conversation, where, most of the world wait for something to change outside before something inside can change. That is the 3D model of reality. An apple drops on your head, you go, ow. Somebody gives you some money when you want it, you say, yay, that's great, I feel good. The quantum model of reality is the reverse. Janie, morning gorgeous. The quantum model of reality says, I can't wait for my wealth to feel abundant. I can't wait for my lover to show up to feel loved. I can't wait for my healing to come to feel whole. I can't wait to know what my purpose is in life to feel purposeful. And it's completely counterintuitive. So to get outside of your box, you've actually got to pay attention to all of the shit that comes up when you start thinking, okay, I'm imagining this life. Nah, it'll never happen. It's impossible. I've tried so hard. It's for me, Joanne, good morning, gorgeous. For me, the thing that would come up, oh, no. Don't even look. It's too depressing. It's just this visceral response. And it was so much me. I was so used to it for many, many years, I didn't notice it. So you've actually got to get really real with yourself and think, okay, this is really what I feel about, my feeling about what I'm seeing in that new box that I want to be in is so, oh my God. So, there's a gap between your visceral felt experience and your imagined experience, and your job is to close that gap. So, but now you actually have an intention that your heart really desires. So to tune into the desire of your heart and recognize all of the stuff that comes up in your body that says, oh, it's impossible. No, I've tried so hard for so long. That's not your heart's desire. That's just your old programs. It's your experience. Remember, everything in your brain comes from your past experience. There is nothing in the architecture of your brain that is about the future. Nothing. Nothing at all. And the chemistry in your body, the way your body's adapted to the kind of emotional states that you're used to being in, that is the artifact of your past. So it's not going to be helpful in showing you the vision of your future. Now, to shut all of that up, as most of you well know, my magic place is to quiet my brain, slow my brain waves down, get into my autonomic nervous system, go into the quantum field where all possibilities exist, and create there. And that is an amazing process. And to give you some idea, last night I only got about half a night's sleep, maybe 5 hours instead of 7 or 8. I was tired this morning. There was no way I was going to stay in bed for the hour that I spent meditating and creating, getting into a really altered brain state and thinking, gee, this is actually working really well because I'm tired. When you're tired, your brain is full of melatonin. You get all kinds of crazy shit happening when you get deep and your brain is doing that. No way would I miss that for an hour's sleep. It's too precious because I get out of my box in that time. So, and I love to help people do this because there's nothing more exciting for me than to get out of my own box, or to witness and participate in helping someone else get out of their box. That is just the ultimate kick for me. There's nothing else. It's amazing. So you've got to realise that everything that you think and feel in response to your dreams isn't true. It's entirely based upon your past experience, and you can't rely upon it as a guide to whether you can have what you desire or not. So it can be very loud. And there's practices you can do, and everyone's got to find their own way. I just know what I love because it works for me, and it's repeatable, and it works even on the days when I feel like shit. And I see it working for people around the world, and I love that. Susanna, morning, gorgeous. I love that it's science and it's a formula. And anybody who's willing to make use of the formula can use it. And I don't mean you have to pay a bunch of money to go to a workshop or anything. I have done astonishing transformations in my life, and I have spent, let me think, 32 New Zealand dollars and about 26 US dollars. And my life has changed enormously. Now, I have to be honest, I have more recently invested in an online training course from this chap, Joe Dispenza, because I want to go further. And the information is great. It is, and there's a process in there that I've done which was really powerful. So, that was really cool. But I would still be there if I hadn't spent the money. It's just that I'm investing in myself. Point I'm making is you don't need a ton of cash to do this. What you do need is to show up for yourself. What you do need is determination. And the willingness to say, I don't feel like doing this today. And I'm going to do it anyway because this is a formula and I'm going to work the formula because I'm dedicated to me. And I'm more in love, I'm more desiring to be with the vision of my future and that other box that I want to be in than the box that I'm so familiar with, and it's so easy for me to stay that shape and continue to be that person. Oh my God, it's so easy. The amount of habitual fear and resistance and impossibility and everything that I am presently releasing in my meditations. I can't describe it, but it's astonishing to me. I've only been in this game 8 months, it's not very long. It's been amazing. But the amount of stuff that I never, ever could have seen, it just astonishes me who I've been being and not realised it. So we have to start thinking about what we're thinking about. We have to start noticing our unnoticed and unconscious responses and realising that they do not tell us what is true about what we are capable of. They tell us what we've done and been in the past. And that's all. And none of it is fixed and concrete, and all of it is changeable. We have to do the work. It's not going to happen for you just because you wish and you hope. Wishing and hoping? What does Joe say? Hope is a beggar. No, I won't hope. I'll create. So that's what I wish for you today. I know I'm out of time. Thank you so much for joining in. Facebook has not shown me your comments, so I will reply to them later. It's beautiful to be with you. Big love. We'll dance again tomorrow. Bye-bye.